Hello, Thrive ladies. How are you all doing? Can y'all just unmute and scream with me?
Technology! Woohoo!
Okay.
Thank
Because I really want to request host to start recording. Hold on, give me 1 second. I have to totally reset everything because
Yeah.
Okay, Heather,
Yes, ma'am.
you are host.
I am on my phone. Do you need my help?
I can be
I'm getting my
host.
nails done. Crystal.
Yeah, I don't know why. Like my
I
computer
can.
has totally. Are you able? Can you just hit to save to the cloud, please?
I might be able to. Hold on.
Okay. Thank you. Ladies, I appreciate you all tonight for just your patience. We know that technical
It said it was
difficulties do
recording.
happen sometime, and don't ask me why they happen for Thrive, but it is what it is. We're going to make it work. I am.
So at the end, I'll save it. And when I get home, I'll send it to you. Okay.
Oh, it won't let you
Does
save
it?
to the cloud?
It says stop recording on my end. And
Oh, it says it's already recording?
it started. It was recording when we started.
Perfect. It's on the cloud. Okay, great.
Okay.
Thank
Awesome.
you. All right, wonderful. Well, ladies, thank you so much for joining us tonight. If you could go to your respective women's teams and organizations, tell them to hop on tonight. Uh-oh. It looks like, am I back on now? My computer decided to act right, y'all. I think maybe. No. Okay. I'm not going to worry about it. All right, wonderful. So, yes, but please hop on to your various women groups, invite them to come on tonight. I have my real own personal firecracker on tonight. She's awesome. Don't do that. You're a good firecracker. Some sparks are meant to be flaming hot, honey, and they are here to light up the world.
It's
and
pretty
we have
flaming.
one that is here lighting the pathway for all of us. So without further ado, I know it's kind of a little bit different tonight. Totally not going the way that I wanted it to go, but let me see what I can possibly do to change the narrative here. So I have none other than the lovely Mrs. Ginger Lichlyter.
Ooh,
You have to say it very slow and precise,
yes.
right? But she is just a phenomenal, dynamic lady that I've actually know her husband. I'm very good friends with her husband. I'm sure you all have heard of Kyle Lichlyter. He is on the health side of our business, and we've really not had anybody on this team from that end. But guess what? We're women, and that's what we do. We're here to light the path for what Family First Life is doing, but not just Family First Life, just females who are taking the entrepreneurial industry by storm, no matter what lane you are in, no matter where you are. So, without further ado, I have my girl Ginger on. She's going to come on and we're just going to have a nice conversation. And guess what? You all get to listen in onto a lovely conversation of which Ginger and I are going to have. Isn't that just phenomenal?
Yay.
So, Ginger,
Yeah.
let's start off by telling us just a little bit about yourself, where you're from, where you grew up, and yeah, give us a nice intro to who Ginger is.
Woo. Well, gosh, I could go on and on about myself forever. I'm from West Texas. I was born in Oklahoma. My dad worked in the oil field. I don't know if you ever saw, I told you this, Crystal, like if you ever saw Landman or you ever saw Friday Night Lights, that's my life. It's that to a T. That's how I grew up, small town, and I dated small town boys. And I married my childhood sweetheart. We're no longer married, but that's probably what happened, is I married him when I was too little. And we actually together went to Africa when I was very, very young. I had two babies. We have now currently my husband Kyle and I have been together. I was going to say my age, but Kyle and I have been together for about 17, 18 years. And together we have seven daughters. and we raised all of them in our house. We don't know why we got all of them, but we did. They all moved in with us. I guess we were really fun. And not really. And we basically, we've always been entrepreneurs, and I'm always trying to figure out how I can not make money. Making money isn't hard. It is creating something for yourself where you can work less and play more and it still pay you. And that to me is kind of the goal, is the freedom part of it, is the work-life freedom. You hear that all the time, but man, that's a real deal. Because honestly, everybody on this call, if you calculated how much every hour you work is worth and what you can make, your time is super valuable. And so that's, kind of what Kyle and I've been doing all of these years. And I think we really have it figured out now. So that's pretty cool.
You know, when we first talked, I bust out laughing because Kyle told me before that he had 7 girls. And I just bust out laughing. I was like, really? 7 girls? And it's one of those things where it's like, what? Well, seriously?
Yeah.
Nah, he kidding. He joking. He's the only guy in his house. Nah. So then when I talked to you, you're like, yeah, we have 7 girls. I said, God,
It-
that's
It's so true.
amazing. And it goes and it gets better because you have 7 daughters, 2 granddaughters, right?
Yeah.
And one lone grandson. Thank God
Yeah.
for the one grandson.
Yeah. He's a monster too. And, in Kyle's eyes, he can do no wrong because, he's the only dude to hang out with, him and the dog. And even the dog defects, he would rather be with the girls. So I just think that it was God's love for him that he got a grandson. That's cool.
Hey, God is real. Thank God for the one Lone Ranger, right? Amongst
That's
all
right.
these wonderful beauties, right?
Yeah, I feel sorry for whoever he gets married to. It'll be a real problem.
And I thought I was, had a lot going on. I have 4 brothers. And I
Hmm.
was literally telling someone today, I said, yeah, nobody's going to mess with me. I got too many boys in my family. I like 4 brothers, a whole bunch of male cousins. And my only claim to glory is that I'm the oldest. Lord forbid, if I was the youngest, it would be rough, rough, rough. But, you know, my grandfather spoiled me a lot because I was the only girl with all these boys around. So
Hmm.
I get it.
And you said you had 4 brothers, right? And then
Have 4 brothers.
okay. And then you have kids?
I do. I have a boy and a girl.
Oh,
And my son was born first.
oh,
Yeah. So the irony is that, I married a man. Many of y'all know my ex-husband, Kendall, but he's inundated with boys in his family.
oh.
Um, and I'm sorry, with girls in
Mhm.
his family.
Yeah.
And he and his brother are like the only boys. He has all these girl cousins. So
Mhm.
you bring all my boys and we bring all his girls,
Yeah.
we got one of each.
Yeah.
So that's how it works, right?
Don't even know what that would be like. That would be probably a really nice holiday. We have a lot of chiefs and very few Indians in our houses, so it's a
Yeah.
real
It's no
yeah.
dull moments, ever, ever.
So,
No dull moments.
no.
So tell us a little bit about like your career, how you got started. Your story is so interesting. Just share with us. Listen, this container, this
Yeah.
women, let me tell you about Thrive.
Okay.
Ladies, what's our saying? We fix each other's crowns, right? Isn't
Yeah.
that what we say? We are here to fix each other's crowns. So if it's tilted, if it's off, I'm here to say, hey, Queen, I got you. You're good. Don't worry about it. We're here to
Yeah.
lift each other up. But sometimes we may look to our left and look to our right, and there may not be another queen in sight. And
Mm.
so that happens a lot in our careers.
Mm.
We may be the only female in the room. We may be the only ethnic female in the room amongst all these men, a table full of men, right? In business, our industry, insurance, that we are specifically in, because I know we have some other guests who are from other industries up here, but in our industry is air quote male dominated. The funny part is the females are the best ones at it. Hmm.
Mm.
How that happens, right? But nonetheless, we experience a lot of ups and downs just in our career because we go through, you know, we're told we're too emotional. We're told we can't handle big business. We're told that we can't possibly, we can lead, but on a minuscule scale. We're told we can't multitask, which is crazy because we manage whole households and the guys too. So that blows my mind. We're told all these things, and yet we could just continue to soar and rise and do all that we've done. And your story is truly a testimony of how you can, soar high and kind of swoop down a little bit and soar
Yeah.
back high again. So take us on that journey. Tell us how you started in your career.
Okay.
Tell Give it to me, Ginger, because
Okay.
you and I have great
Woo!
conversations. So I think these ladies, again, they are sneaking into the conversation that you and I have, right? And tell us about your wonderful journey, the career that you originally started in, all the pitfalls you had, the challenges, and then the beautiful, glorious woman that you are today.
No. Okay, I'm gonna go. I'm not even gonna take a breath because it's a really long story and I'm gonna make it even longer. No, I'm just kidding. I'm gonna try to like bring it all together. So I did live in Africa for 12 years with my ex-husband, raised three of my daughters there while we were in Africa. I homeschooled for a little while and I'm just like, dang, I'm a good mother. I'm a no nonsense mother. All of my children could probably start businesses today just because I was the kind of mom that was just like, I'm going to teach my daughters how to be girls in this world. Like I want them to be able to do it on their own. Like if they had a relationship, it would be to accentuate their crown, right? Like it wasn't going to be that I need this person, it's because I want this person in my life. And I think that some of them would, say, oh, well, mom didn't let us cry about it or do this and that. But they all are like, thank you so much for that. My oldest daughter just told me today, I'm so glad you didn't pay for my college. Because I look at all my friends that had their colleges paid for and they're just like whiny babies. And she owns a business with me now and she's a go-getter. And so I think that that to me is one of my greatest compliment accomplishments is my daughters. And I know that I instilled in them a lot of, good qualities, probably bad qualities. I'm not a super great listener. I'm not super empathetic. And I think it's important to know the things about yourself that aren't great so that you're not offended when people are like, you're not a good listener. And you're like, hey, oh, damn right. Because I'm always thinking about the next thing I want to do. Like, you have to realize that every single negative thing about you is all the reasons, the positive things is the opposite. Those are all those positive things are why people love you. Like, those are, you know, Cal and I had a conversation where he's like, yeah, just people love you. And I was like, why? Because I'm like the worst friend ever. Like I maybe like can have a good conversation and I'll stand up for you and be loyal, but I'm also like not the friend to bring you chicken soup, and it's unfortunate, but if you embrace that about yourself and you know what that yin and yang is, then you can really, really not be offended when you let people down or you don't feel too terrible. You can always be working on those negative things, but really growing the positive things about yourself. So I, when we moved back from Africa and, I went through my first divorce and I thought he wasn't getting a job and he wanted to start his own business and we were depleting our savings. And I thought, oh, I'm going to go get a job. Like I'm going to go support us. And ultimately that was the downfall to our marriage, but it was, it is what it is. And I started working and I realized I love sales. I love sales. And even before we left Africa, I actually worked for a South African magazine and a women's college there. We did my degree is in art history and graphic design. And I love all things creative and I really enjoyed that. We worked for the US Embassy doing interior design and it was amazing. So I moved home. I got a job as in a furniture warehouse called Direct Buy. That's where I met Kyle. And but it was one of those things where I realized like, wow, if you work commission, you can make so much money. Like you can just make as much money. Like I was like, you're gonna pay me $400 for every deal I close? What? And if they pay in full, I get the whole amount all up front. Like I was like, sign me up. And I remember I used to come out of tours and Kyle and his partners would come up and they'd be like, what are you telling them in there? What are you selling them? Just like exactly what we have, but I'm letting them know how great it is. And so I did that for a really long time. And then I thought, this is going to be something where I think that there would be more money in. I Googled it and I found pharmaceutical sales and medical device. And I thought there's a lot of money in medicine. And I love like hospitals and medicine and health. And I'm just obsessed with, biology and just the body and all of that stuff. And I'm super like morbid and I just love like gross. I don't know. I just really love it. And um, so I ended up working for a company in Austin, Texas called Selling Biosciences. It's a bioregenerative medicine company where we did medical devices and we did stem cell therapy. They made medical devices to take the stem cells out of your body and basically spin them to separate them, and then the doctors wouldn't re-inject them. And, they hired me. They said, "Hey, we can't market for doctors anymore because it's illegal. We can't buy the doctor's love anymore to sell, to do our products. It's illegal. So how are we going to get around that?" So I came home and I always have like talked with Kyle about ideas, and he's like my partner, and he helps me figure out like, what about this and this and this, and we're constantly talking about how to be like, well, what if we grew this, and what about this idea? And we came up with this idea called Med Rebels, where we created a platform where doctors would pay $500 a year to be a part of this platform. And on the platform, I would then do SEO and bring patients to the platform to find a doctor who did stem cell therapy. These doctors would say, "Oh, well, I don't offer stem cell therapy. I would love to buy your devices, but, insurance doesn't pay for it. And so we have to, just go with what insurance says." And I said, "What if I can bring you cash paying patients?" And they're like, "What?" I'm like, "Yeah, they'll pay you instead of $2,500 from insurance for a total shoulder replacement. You're going to make $5,000 from a patient for like 10 minutes of like work." And they're like, "Sign us up." So all of a sudden, we had thousands of doctors sign up for this network online. And then, I found a finance company. I started doing cadaver labs to train doctors how to do stem cell therapy, and they got CE credits, and we just did this whole thing. And after a year and a half, the owner of the company said, "Wow, we went from, 5 million to 20 million. This makes me nervous." So he fired me. He fired me because it was my baby. See, my problem was is that I took his company and I made it really, really big, and I got nothing from it. And I thought, I'm never doing that again. I'm never making some man or some other person money without me making money along the way and controlling it. I'll be a part of the revenue stream. No one's kicking me out again like that. I'm not working on a salary ever again. Um, you guys, I don't know if y'all have ever worked 9 to 5 jobs or you've worked a salary job. I don't know,
Oh yeah.
Crystal. Yeah.
Yes, I have. And you know what? I want to pause right here.
Yeah.
Ladies, drop a fire sign or one in the chat if you have actually been replaced in a business or your job because somebody was threatened by you.
Oh gosh, that's so big.
That happened to me twice in my 25 years, 30 years of working. Twice.
I've had it
Good
happen
job.
at least a couple of times as well, just feeling threatened. Um, yeah. So we can relate to her story, ladies. Some of you all can. Um, but yeah, tell us my dad used to always say it best. Sometimes you get knocked down only to spring up way higher than you ever been before. So let's
Yeah.
talk about your spring up. What happened after that?
So what ended up happening is I thought, okay, I'm never working for a man again. I saw some advertisement. I was going to start a business. I told you about that, some little travel agency. I had a really good idea. I was online doing the research, and I saw some girl that I knew from my old, design industry. I knew she wasn't a good salesperson, but she was number one in this company called Symmetry. And I was like, why is she number one? She must like, it must be a really easy system that she could be number one in the Symmetry Financial Group. So I called her about it. Boom. I got sold, and I went out on a ride with some insurance agent, went in home. His name was John Ziller. And he was like, "Yeah, I just made $1,600." And I'm like, "What? You just showed them 3 options, mortgage protection, and you made $1,600? That's ridiculous." So I did all the math and I was like, "Where do you get your leads?" Da, da, da. So I started asking questions and I started in insurance. I did that. We built a huge team of people that we absolutely loved. And it started getting to where, we'd bring them in at 60%. And the whole goal was to make a spread on them. That was the goal, was to work, 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 recruit, 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 make a huge spread on agents, and then you couldn't work no longer. And I'm like, oh, that sounds great, right? Well, then you start talking to agents and they quit these six-figure jobs to come do this. And then you start talking to them about their lead cost and their work-life freedom and their chargebacks. And then you start thinking, oh, they're dying on the vine. They're not making it, um yeah, I had one of my agents like, it's okay, I took money out of retirement, but it's all right, I'll get it. And I'm like, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm going to look over the fence at the devil called Family First Life. And I researched every IMO, everyone out there. And I was like, yeah. I was like, Sean Mike, I do not want to work with Sean Mike. I was just like, there's no way. That guy, Symmetry had us thinking he was the devil. And so I came over to Family First Life because their commissions were higher. I liked their structure. I liked the fact that they paid agents a lot of money. And I set all of my agents only 5% below me, and we started to run. We came over doing Zoom, and I was told, Andrew, Sean did say she can come over, but she can't do Zoom. We don't do Zoom at FFL. We don't do virtual. And I was like, all right. We even went to a meeting. It was like,
You're dating yourself now.
nope, we don't need no damn lazy agents. And he said that. And I was like, ooh, don't tell him that we do Zoom. So I remember I was in Utah and there were no leads. And I was in Andrew Taylor told me to get an office. I got an office, paid $900 a month. I did exactly what he said. And all these agents were in there and we were in a meeting. Zach Dradowski came and they were both like, how many of you guys did, 10,000? And I was like, yeah. And like 20,000, yeah, 30,000, 40,000. And I was the only one with my hand up. It's like one of the only girls in that like team. And it was
Mhm.
Samir and his team. And Andrew was like, oh, there's no leads in Utah County, eh? Like, why is Ginger doing 40,000? I looked at him and I'm like, do you want me to tell you how? Because you said I'm not allowed to tell. And he like had that look in his eye and he's like, yeah, tell him. And I was like, I did it on Zoom. I bought leads in any freaking county I wanted to. And
Yeah.
he was
And
just
this
like,
was when? When was this?
2021, maybe
So right
22.
coming in the pandemic, kind of that buckle, yeah. Hmm.
Yeah. And, I had figured it out for Symmetry, but then I was like, I hadn't had a chance to train anybody, but they were like really catching on to it. And then I came over here. So then, that's when Andrew was like, Sean, we gotta, we need to let her train on this. We need to bring her in to do a podcast and let her train on it. So I built a Zoom presentation and there were a few other agents starting to do it too. And we all started coming in. And then, of course, they built a website. Grady did. And then they started doing phone telehealth, right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of what brought me to FFL. And honestly, um, it at the same time, when mortgage protection started kind of dwindling a little bit and it kind of got harder and harder, there were more agents, more hens getting pecked, like pecking around, like there wasn't enough food for everyone. Um, that's when I was like, hey, what if we could do health insurance and use a health insurance lead to bundle and sell a life critical illness policy like we do with mortgage protection? Because business owners get health insurance, but they, number one, not affordably, but number two, if they were to get cancer, yeah, their bills are paid, but their business is going to go down because they're not working every day. So Kyle had a flooring business at the same time, and he was trying to get that to work. And I said, "What are we going to pick?" I said, "I need a lot of help." And he said, "I think I could really grow your business on the health side." So I never learned health as much as he does. I know how to sell health. I'm really good at it, but he's like I'm the life side, but he's like the health side. He's like a health genius. So that being said, blah, blah, fast forward ahead. Then now what we're about to launch is we're adding functional medicine and peptide therapy and GLP medications and telehealth to the health and the life bundles, which is going to blow up. Like the leads are going to be so like, shh, because now we're going to be able to help cover people with health insurance, and this health insurance company is going to allow them to apply their full prescription benefit to their compounded GLP medication, which will make it pretty much just nothing. And
Wow.
I built a peptide community called Total Well Connect. Write it down, tick, 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 go over there. It's 15 bucks a month, but it's grown so big and so fast. It is mostly women. And because we have buying power tonight at 7 o'clock, so right after this meeting, I am rolling out a new telehealth platform that offers pricing that's almost the same, if not better than research peptides with a telehealth physician for full peptides and GOPs. And it's a big deal. It's a really big deal. Next week on our team call with Galen, we're going to roll out the functional medicine platform for Health First Quotes, and it's
Yeah.
going to change the industry again.
I'm just curious, by show of hands, just in this group, how many of you ladies have your health license? Drop a 1 in the chat if you have your health license.
Me.
Mm-hmm. Yep, me. Here's the reason why. Because ladies, some of these ladies up here have known me for years and remember when I got started in this business, and you know, they just know me, and I'm pretty unapologetic about a lot of things. One thing that I do really, you know, kind of self-loathing moment here, but one thing I really pride myself on is like not hiding stuff. Right? I'm a
Thank you.
hide. I'm a sharer. I'm a giver, right? If I know it, I'm going to share it. I'm going to tell it. I'm going to spread it, especially if I know if it's good and if it's going to help, the overall world and community or whatever I'm in as a whole. Because I just feel like being a hoarder, I can't say that word, but a hoarder is just, it's not healthy. It's better to give. And because the more you give, the more, comes back to you. And so I wanted to bring Ginger on, ladies, because I want everybody to understand that life insurance, we already know that there are many aspects of the things that we can do with our life license, right? We can sell term and whole life policies or burial protection or whatever you want to call it. But then we've gotten fancy and we can say, oh, mortgage protection. Then we went through this whole swoop or this era of IULs, right? The cash growing policies. Everybody is looking out for their retirement. Everybody wants to, ooh, S&P 500. That sounds sexy. I think I'll better get into that IUL. So we went through that era. Now, okay, mental health has been the big thing coming out of the pandemic. Nobody wants to talk about the health side of the business. And last time I checked, you had the option when you took your test to study life and health. And so we have a lot of agents that are sitting on their health license because maybe they're in that one track of life and it's life, 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 life. And now you've spread out and we can do annuities and all these other things. But we have the health side of business that's, really especially for small business owners, people that are independent in business, the people that have LLCs, kind of like a lot of people in this audience, they need health insurance, right? Health insurance is not just privy to big business. Everybody needs health insurance, especially with what we've gone through and in this current era of mental health and losing weight, which losing weight never goes away.
Yeah,
As long as there's a woman walking around, we're going to talk about weight loss, right?
that's right.
It is what it is. So that's one reason, Ginger, why I said, you know what? I told you, I said, Ginger, you the first person I brought on this group. And yeah, you're the first person I have brought in Thrive to talk about health. The very first. And this is our 3rd year of
Thank
Thrive.
you. I appreciate
You're
it.
welcome.
That's
I
flattering.
appreciate you. So I wanted to bring you because number one, your story is great, what you've been through. I mean, living in Africa and then coming back to the United States. You've been married, divorced, you're a mother of 7, like you're a boss, you're a go-getter. And we all can relate to building up someone else's business only for them to fire you.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know
Yeah.
I can relate. I mean,
Yeah.
or better yet, how many of us, now I'm going to go all the way there because this is a women's call. How many of us have built up some of the men in our lives only to be rejected? We have done this
Amen to
as
that.
women. Yeah. I mean, it happens. This is why we fix each other's crowns, ladies. This is why, because we are so powerful. We are so powerful. We just, they try to diminish our power. And don't get me wrong, I'm not bashing the men because I love the men. I think they're great and we need them because ain't nobody getting under the hood of no car and doing nothing. At least
Right.
I'm not. Okay. So I need my guys. I do.
Right.
But I believe that we can have a wonderful balance. And so just to hear you have yet another thing that you're doing with the Total Well Connect, dealing with peptides and GLPs and just dealing with the whole health platform. I know that you say Kyle is better at the health, but you know, you have this little segment over here that's yours. And
Yeah.
so how do you feel that works as far as you and the balance of what you've gone through and what you're doing? How do you feel that that balance works and what can we really expect? Because it sounds to me like we may be on the verge of something great here.
Yeah. Like, can you imagine getting an ad on Facebook where it says, not only can you get a PPO health plan that is a fraction of what the ACA is, right? And there's a lot of benefits to the plans that they have. But then also, it's a plan that's going to let you use your prescription benefit to go towards compounded medications, generic medications. They'll let you use your HSA and your FSA. And so, like, we're really on the edge of something really huge. I mean, in my social media alone, those videos always go viral when I tell people I can get you health insurance and it also will let you use your prescription benefit, even if you're in maintenance mode. You don't even have to be overweight to get to use it. Like to have a health insurance company that in Manhattan Life that fought the government, that won, that now has this plan, and now with the hormone that we're also going to be able to offer hormone therapy and mental health, like it is truly a full bundle in a package, and it's like going to be like this. I have all of the pieces right that we're launching in the next week or two, and if you're in the right place at the right time, which most all of you are, that was one of the things that I negotiated with the platforms. Is I was like, hey, I have agents that are going to love this for their clients. They're asked every single day on health plans if it covers GLPs. And the drug companies are screwing people over and making it really, really affordable. They're trying to take away, well, they are taking away research peptides, which is the gray market. They'll take those away. They're taking them away at the border. If you haven't been watching the news, RFK is personally saying, "Hey, I'm going to move peptides from class 2 to class 1 so that they can be legal through a pharmacy again, but we're not buying research peptides anymore. Those are going to become illegal. You're going to have to buy them through a pharmacy because that's safe." And I 100% agree with that. I have talked to so many people who've overdosed themselves. They've mixed things wrong. We were not meant to be doctors. And that's the direction we're going. So I immediately, when I had all of these companies who I sold for last year, I sold $7 million in commissions in peptides. Not 7 million, seven figures. It was actually 10 million in peptides for a company. And then at the end of the last year, they were told that, hey, I just met with the DOJ and research peptides are going away. I put it on social media. They thought everyone came after me. They were like, you're just trying to fear monger. And then boom, the end of the year, companies like Peptide Sciences just last month went down. Like they're going down. Like I know all of the players. And so I thought, knowing what I knew about health insurance personally and what I hear Kyle and what we talk to clients every day, and then I have this huge community of thousands of people who are just trying to just be healthier and have used peptides and become like different people. I've lost over 80 pounds. My hair has grown back thicker and faster. My skin is more amazing. Like I'm better at 52 than I was at 35. And it's because of peptides. And I had to advocate and find that for myself. And I thought I have to create a movement. And I've been doing that for the last few years. And so now this perfect storm is coming together. And I built the perfect community. I built, I took all of the buying power that I have with all the pharmacies and the relationships. And I went to a pharmacy and said, hey, what I need for people is I need pricing that's the same as research peptides because they're about to go away. I need a doctor visit that's free. And I need it to be super simple for healthy people. And I need for people like myself to stay in maintenance mode. I don't want to lie about being overweight so I can get these GLPs. I don't want to buy them in a back alley. I don't want to dose my friends anymore. Like I want to like give people a safe option and I want to actually include it as part of health insurance plans. And it has to be FDA regulated, and it has to be approved. And we built that. And that's what we're launching tonight in my meeting. And that's what we're launching for my community. It's called totalwellconnect.com. And then that community gets discounts. And then I negotiated the same thing for Health First Quotes, and we're launching that next Tuesday in our team meeting. And it's branded for health insurance, and it's going to be freaking amazing.
Oh. All
Mic
right,
drop.
y'all. I just wanna say, I'm just gonna let y'all know I'm the plug. Okay, y'all heard it here first.
And hey, I negotiated so that when our agents, and really any agents that want to do functional medicine, offer that to their platforms, because there's other like insurance agencies that are coming in like, we want to do it too. Then I negotiated for them, agents will make 10%. So let's say somebody gets a peptide stack that is, $500 or $1,000, whatever. Because that's the average. People spend about anywhere between $400 and $800 a month on peptides. And because they're so like good, they're so addicted. And then, you make 10% of that. Well, you have to kind of do the math. Like no one stops. No one says, I'm pretty enough. Actually, I'm done feeling good. I want to go back too. They're getting these really affordable plans through our PPO, and then now they can afford their peptides, and now they're getting those, prescription benefit towards that. Now they're getting it discounted because we did, buying power. Like it's everything I've ever learned and knew about anything I've created that's about to explode. And I also negotiated for agents to make 10% of all of everything they put in forever. And it is ridiculous how.
So ladies, just think about it. And I'm not trying to sway or push anybody anyway. This is, in Thrive, we always are here to educate, right? But think about it. Everybody, most of the ladies up here, they have their health license, life license. Some of them have health. But we always talk about multiple streams of income, right? I've had speakers and ladies come up here who have talked to us talked to us about having multiple streams of income, how to build our business, how to do annuities, how to do IULs, how to really just what quadrant are you from a personality perspective, and how to be a better person to be, for yourself and for your family, and how to show up. And so now we're talking about the health field, which we know in this world of mental health and mental and health awareness and health, physical fitness and things of that nature. I know I don't even have to look up anything, but I know the number one market for this industry is women, because we're all about looking good, feeling good, diet, exercise, like everything that's healthy. We'll even go by things that we know aren't healthy, but just because it says healthy, they got a market in us, right?
Yeah.
And so all we have to do is have the right platform. So we literally have a platform where we as ladies can now advocate for ourselves to help grow yet another area of our business under our license, to make it all inclusive. Drop a one in the chat if you want to be like the full service agent to your clients, right? Who doesn't want to be a full service agent to their client and expand their business? And so when you are speaking to your client on the phone, because 99% of us are in some sort of in telesales in some, form of fashion, very, very, very small percentage of agents are now in the home, but you still talk to friends and family and people that you know. So that's still belly to belly, face to face. It's so nice to walk up to them and say, "Hey, Ginger, me and Ginger been friends since high school." And I talked to her and I'm like, casually, and I'm like, "Well, I've been seeing you on social media. You're doing this, you're doing that." Yeah. And guess what else? I've added this to my plate. One more thing. They don't have to go anywhere else. I can be the one-stop shop to be able to help them. And because we have a relationship, the trust is already built, and then
Yeah.
it just spreads and grows, from there.
Yeah.
What do you say, just because we're entrepreneurs here, and we're all looking, of course, to expand and grow in every single thing that we do. What do you feel like that growth is going to really, really be over the next, I don't know, not even going to go far, next year this time? What do you think is going to happen?
Like health insurance, peptides, like what's about to happen, what is about to
Yeah.
happen is I know that when we roll this out, just like Zoom, that everybody's going to jump on this. It's like telehealth, like telesales at FFL now. And Zoom sales, it's like, oh yeah, we got that. We're making, all these, like if you went to conference with Family First Life, you saw all these young chickens like running around, mostly all men, and they're all like, yeah, we all get in the house and we do telehealth and we, awesome, great. Like I taught y'all how to do that. Like, it's just like I'm so way past that now. I'm already trying to solve the next problem, and this is the next problem. Health insurance in this company sucks, and people are mad about it, and nobody's really fixing it. And we've got a war going on over here. I'm not going to talk about politics, but nobody's focusing on it. And we all, as health agents, just went through talking to people, and they're getting quotes from, $1,500 a person, to $9,000 for a family, to subsidies and this and that. And they're mad about it. And they
It's
also,
high, yeah.
yeah, and they also know that peptides are ever growing, and they're going to, it's like prohibition. They're going to try to shut us up. But when we feel good, you're not taking our liquor from us. Like we'll go underground, and they know that. So in order to keep us safe and to still participate in the money, then they bring in all these telehealth people, or they bring in all these research companies and tell them, if you turn into a telehealth, you can get a piece of the pie. We'll allow you to, operate in this country. As an affiliate and an influencer, you're going, okay, well, I'm going to get on board with that too, but I'm going to make it work for me and mine and my agencies and my people and my friends. And, we're going to pull this together fast. So that's what's about to happen. And you can either figure it out and get on board and make 10% of it, or you can figure it out too late. Because at that point, we'll already be thinking about something else. So I hate to
How
cut it too
many?
short. Huh?
No, I know you have to
Yeah.
go. I know you have to get ready for your other call. I just really quickly, how many of you all have experienced some form of telehealth before or ever utilized it? I know I did during the pandemic. That was my first time really getting on the phone and talking to. So just looking, of course, being entrepreneurs, we're always looking ahead. Thank you, Ginger, for taking the time out to come and share with us, just the potential that we all have with our license to expand on it. For those that have your health license, you're already halfway there. For those that don't, just think about it, consider it. But there's a whole another side of insurance that we as ladies can connect with and can be a part of. And so I'm so happy that you joined us tonight. Thank you for being an honorary. You are honorary Thrive now.
Thank you. I love it. You never know when I'm going to pop up again.
I know. Well, ladies, please join Thrive on WhatsApp. I do have the group and have text my personal number in here. You can join the Thrive group on WhatsApp. Ginger, I know if you have to scoot off, you can
Thank
go. So
you.
I look
Thank you,
forward to talking with
everyone.
you.
Bye, y'all.
So, ladies, I just want to let you know that Thrive Women's Conference is coming this summer. I have a venue, but I just want to make sure we have all the logistics right for that. So please, please, please make sure that you are paying attention to the Thrive WhatsApp group. If you're not in the group, please make sure to just go ahead and text me. Text me on the 757-339-1307. My puppy is having a field day, y'all. Anybody want a puppy? He used to be so cute. Now he just wants to be a part of every Zoom meeting that I'm in. And so, but yes, please text me to make sure that you are part of the Thrive group. And I will keep everybody updated on the conference this summer. And I'm excited, y'all. I'm excited for what we're doing. So wait till next month where we will have a new guest speaker here to help us fix our crowns. Thank you, ladies. See y'all next month.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. See y'all in a moment.